Hello. Hello and welcome. Welcome here into our community and into day 2 of this transformative week, this transformative training that we're offering today in Becoming a Diamond Vision 2021. Declare more. Declare more. Today we are going to be talking about having faith and how do we cultivate faith? How do we trust our intuition? How do we push past fears? This is going to be a really, really good topic and I'm excited about it. Hello, Lorraine. So glad to have you here. So as per usual, if you are watching live, I encourage you to participate, to ask questions. Would love it if you can drop in where you are watching from. And if you happen to catch this on a replay, I encourage you to participate as if you're watching live, because we all benefit from questions that people ask because we learn and we grow. And I guarantee that if you have a question, somebody else likely has that question too. So please participate, ask questions, and let's have fun. I really wanted to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you in this community who have reached out to me, who have sent messages, who thanked me for the training yesterday. It's very humbling, and I am so happy that a lot of you are reaping the benefits from this. And also for those of you where we've hopped on calls. It's fantastic to see the growth and to see the questions, how you are diving in deep. And so I encourage you, if you have not taken advantage of this opportunity, I am booking calls this week, breakthrough activation calls. Just reach out, drop call in the comments below if this is something that you would like to take advantage of, because I really want to set you all up for success as we head into 2021. A reminder, the workbook is your guide. I dropped the link in the description of this video today so that you can download it. It's really important that you follow along with the workbook, because the application and the homework that you need to do will just solidify the learning for you. So if you haven't already done so, I encourage you to download that workbook so that you can work through the activities. All lives will be happening at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in this group. Replays will be available and organized in the units section of this group. And on Saturday, we are going to end off 2020 and my last training of this year with a virtual vision board party. I'm really excited about this. And so that has been posted in the announcements. You need to register for that. And finally, I have put together a basket of Be a Diamond Vision goodies. This is for our giveaway. And so each homework post that you are accountable for and you say done earns you a ballot. Every time you participate in these live videos earns you a ballot. And if you are finding value and you share this group amongst your social media network and you comment done in the post in the announcements, then that earns you a ballot as well. And so I'm really excited to be offering that for you. It's going to be a really good basket of self-care. I'm setting you up for 2021, getting your goals established. It's really good. Okay. Oh, and finally, I forgot to mention Jordana, our Be a Diamond concierge in this group. She is going to be offering her expertise this week. And so she will be going live today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about how to get organized space, how to create a sacred space physically, but also, internally and within your mind. She's an expert in this field, and I'm really excited for all of you to experience and gain value from this. Hello, Jeanette. So nice to see you on here. Okay, so today I really wanted to talk about, the concept of faith and having faith, and what does that mean? Because it's something that I find, even for myself personally, before I entered into this material and before I became a coach, it's something that individuals really struggle with, is having that faith in themselves, in their abilities, and having that belief that you can be, and do more. And so it's really important to talk about this and to delve into this as we head into 2021, as we are preparing for our vision boards and our goals. We need to battle that, and we need to figure out, where our faith stands and where we maybe need to do work on. And so what is faith? Well, the hardest part, or the hardest thing that we can do in this world is really knowing how to trust ourselves. It's really building on that. It's understanding how to trust ourselves and how to trust our intuition. It's a hard thing to grasp our head around and to grasp our heart around. And, I would say that everyone, myself included, we're guilty of asking anybody and everybody for advice whenever we're needing to make a decision, whether it's small or big. We reach out to other people for their advice. And we get all the wonderful opinions and advice, but are these people living your life? Are these people going to reap the rewards or the consequences from the advice that they're giving? Maybe to some capacity, but are they really truly going to be impacted? Likely not. And so who is the most important person you should be asking? Who is that? That's yourself. Rather than asking all these other individuals, you should be going internal and you should be asking yourself. That's right, Lorraine, me. Because you are the most important person. But the problem becomes that most of the time when we're going out of ourselves and we're asking other people for information or to be guided, regarding any kind of decisions that we're making, most of the time this happens because we are ignoring our intuition that's right there in front of us. We're pushing it aside. We're ignoring it. And what's the problem with that? Well, the problem is we just don't know how to trust it. We have been trained, we have learned from our previous experiences, from our upbringing, from situations that may have happened, from what other people may say, those naysayers that we have in our life. We have learned not to trust ourselves. And so we need to challenge that. We need to bring it back to the basics. And the basic is learning how to trust that initial gut reaction, learning how to have faith and belief. And so what is faith? What is faith? Well, it's the complete opposite of what I'm talking about. Faith is full trust. It's full trust or confidence in something or someone. It's the substance. It's the substance of things that we hope for. That's right, having no doubt, Lorraine. Having no doubt. And so faith is that substance of things that we hope for. It's believing. That's what faith is. It's the evidence of things that are not seen. I'm going to repeat that again. So faith is the substance of things that we hope for and the evidence of things that are not seen. How powerful is that? Really and truly. And so that's the difficulty. Because we cannot see it, because it's not something tangible in front of us that we can touch and we can feel and we can see with our sensories, that's why we have a hard time. And so how do we cultivate faith? How do we cultivate this belief? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to practice patience. We need to slow things down. There's beauty to be found in the journey of cultivating our faith, of bringing belief back into ourselves. So we need to be intentional and we need to be mindful. So an example is a flower. So a flower seed that is planted doesn't bloom the very first day that it's planted. It's watered, it's nurtured, it's fed, all of those basic things. Yet we don't do that for ourselves. We don't nurture ourselves. We don't feed ourselves with the things that help us grow, that help us develop. And so we need to get back to those basics. We need to nurture ourselves first. We need to practice patience. Take our cues from the world around us. Pay attention to the universe. Pay attention to signs. Get reconnected with nature. The laws of nature are powerful. They are powerful. And the more you tap into that awareness, the more you become intentional, the more you slow things down and you nurture yourself, the more your faith and your belief and your ability to trust your intuition will grow. 100% guaranteed. Secondly, continue your practice. So that goes back to what feeds you? What lights you up? What helps you to become intentional? It may be yoga. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's visualizations. Maybe you have certain spiritual practices. Maybe you're tapped into crystal healing or religious practices. So often, the things that matter most to us, we don't do. We don't make time for it. And we don't make time for it because we don't make ourselves a priority. But that is what will help you cultivate your faith and your belief. And so you need to make time for yourself. You need to make yourself a priority. And the reality is, it doesn't take that much time. We always say we don't have time for certain things. But if you saw yourself as a priority, you would make the time. Because if you made the time and you continued your practice, then abundance will find you. Opportunities will find you. And so it's really important to continue that practice, to get connected to yourself. You have to not only take cues from things around you, but you have to take cues from internally and from within. It's really imperative that you do that. Thirdly, serve others. Servicing others will only bring you rewards in return. Because and I'm not talking about financial rewards or presents or gifts. I'm talking about those internal rewards, how you feel, how you are impacted in servicing others. If you service others, if you help someone else, do you think your faith will become deeper and grow? Absolutely. 100% it will. Because you are seeing the power in helping other individuals. And what does that do? That taps into your feel-good hormones. It makes you feel good that you were able to help someone else, which in turn makes you feel good about yourself. And if you feel good about yourself, you will then begin to build that self-confidence in yourself, which will then lead into being able to trust yourself more and to trust your intuition. So those three things are so important in terms of cultivating faith. Really important. So I'm going to ask each and every one of you, those of you that are watching live and those of you that catch this on a replay, I want you to drop in the comments below at least one out of those three things that you are going to decide today to start working on. At least one. So either practicing patience, continuing your own practice, or serving others. Drop it in the comments below. And so one question that I often get asked, when we're talking about intuition, is how do we know that it's really and truly our intuition? How do we really truly know that it's our intuition that's trying to tell us something? Or is it our mind trying to talk us into something? So how can we tell the difference between what I like to call intuitive hits or just our mind trying to talk us into something because of expectations maybe that we think we need to uphold, because of our fears about what other people might think, etc., etc., etc. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what are intuitive hits. What is our intuition really and truly? So I want you to think about it as a situation where you had to make a decision. Get that situation clear in your mind. You were faced with a decision. And think about that initial gut response, because we all get it. It's just some of us are more in tune with it than others. But think about that initial gut response. What was going on for you? I guarantee that if it was a decision that you felt passionately about, did you get goosebumps? Did you get the shivers? Did you get that feeling, that sensory feeling within you that this is something that you need to do? As I'm talking about this, I am getting goosebumps. That is telling me that the information that I am sharing and what I am doing here today is what I am meant to be doing. And so you need to trust that. You need to trust what your mind is telling you. Our body holds so many answers. It holds so many answers. Think about when you are stressed or overwhelmed. You may not even call it that. You may not even recognize that that is happening. But what is going on in your body to alert you to the fact that you are stressed or overwhelmed? Well, you may be tense. You may start to feel muscle pain. You may start to feel tired, unmotivated. Your body has the answers. We need to become more in tune and intentional with it. You need to trust the bumps. You need to do that. I've said it before. Someone actually said I should coin that phrase. But it's really important. Lorraine, I love goosebumps. Me too. Me too. But so often we ignore them, and so you need to trust it. Secondly, you feel it in your heart. You feel it in your heart. Go back to that situation where you had that initial gut response. Did you feel warm inside? Did you feel a calling that this was something you needed to do? That's telling you something. That's your body telling you that you need to pay attention to that and you need to follow it. You may not know how. You may not know how it's going to happen. You may not have all the answers. But that will come once you make the decision to follow your heart. Thirdly, when you first saw the answer coming to you, when you first saw that answer come through, you didn't deny the information. It was only when you started to allow your mind to spin, you started to think about all your worries and all your fears that you then started to have doubt. But when the answer first touched you, you didn't deny it. You knew that that was what you needed to do. And so you need to tap into that. That's your intuition telling you that this is the way you need to go. That's what that is. So all of those things, the goosebumps, the warm feeling inside, that initial answer of, yes, this is what I need to do before you allow all the external factors to come into play, that is your intuition and it's telling you what to do. And 10 times out of 10, if you trust your intuition, you will not be steered wrong. You won't. Guarantee. And so let's talk about the opposite. What if it's your mind talking you into it? Well, think about it. If it's your mind trying to talk you into something, do you feel tired? Do you literally feel like you can't think straight? Your brain is foggy. You're just tired. You just don't even want to think about it anymore. That's your mind trying to talk you into something. When you're repeating things in your head and you're getting tired and unmotivated and not wanting to address it, you're not paying attention to your intuition at that point. Do you feel like you're beating your head against the wall? Do you feel like you're not moving forward? That's your mind trying to talk you into it. Because what's happening is your mind is going against what your heart is telling you. And so that's where you get that feeling of beating your head against the wall. Because you're not walking in your purpose. You're not following your calling. The other thing that's really powerful, and that's a true indicator of your mind trying to talk you into something, is you feel like you're telling yourself a lie. If you feel like you're lying to yourself, really deep down in your heart, then is that your intuition? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're putting your focus and your energy on external factors at that point. You're putting all of your energy towards whatever your fears are, whatever you think the expectations are, your concerns about what other people may think, and then you're lying to yourself. That's your mind trying to talk you into something. That's not your intuition. And so when you look at those two scenarios, what would be the logical choice? Well, the logical choice would be to trust our intuition, and yet so often we don't. So often we don't trust our intuition. And so what I would say to you is, if you are having a decision that needs to be made, you need to ask yourself, where do you feel it? Where do you really and truly feel it? Do you feel it in your head, which is your ego? It's your mind trying to convince you of something to keep you in your comfort zone, or are you really feeling it in your heart? The answer where you're feeling it in your heart is what you need to pay attention to. Ask yourself, how many people have I asked about this today? If you've asked several people and you keep going over and over and over and you're spinning your wheels, then that's not what you should be paying attention to. That's your mind trying to talk you into something. You need to ask yourself. So those are the questions that I would say to help you in defining if this is my intuition or if this is just my fears, my worries, my concerns. Your intuition will never lead you astray. It won't. I guarantee if you look back in the past at decisions that you've made, and those decisions maybe didn't lead you to where you wanted to go, if you look back to the beginning, I guarantee that you did not follow your intuition. If you agree with that, type yes in the comments below. And so for those of you who maybe have been following me along, or maybe this is your first time watching, so welcome. I started off in my journey as a social worker. So I'm a social worker by profession. And I am still a social worker, but I've now built this wonderful business and this wonderful life. And I am striving for so much more for myself and for my family. But that road of where I started to where I am today and where I'm continuing to go, it hasn't always been easy. And I think it's important. It's important for people to understand that, because so often when you see individuals on social media, so often people are not really presenting their authentic self. And so what happens is people think that it's supposed to be easy. People think that it should just come naturally. And then you start to compare. It's that comparitis. It's horrible. Don't do it. And so I think it's really important that you understand that I had the same struggles that you are likely going through. I had the same worries, the same fears, the guilt, the concerns. When I had to make a decision to invest in myself, I was scared. I was terrified. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Taking all of this money and investing into myself. And then when I had to make the decision again to invest in this business, holy moly, did those old core beliefs come up, those old paradigms. But I pushed through. I trusted my gut. As hard as that was, I trusted my gut and I trusted my intuition. And I would not be here today in this moment with each and every one of you had I not done that. So every decision you make is impactful, not just for yourself, but those who are in your life and those around you. So there's that internal battle that often happens. You've probably experienced it when you've been pursuing your own dreams or your own goals, or maybe just even decisions that you needed to make in your life. You've probably experienced this internal battle within yourself. It's the battle of the mind. We have our conscious mind, which is our thinking mind, and then we have our subconscious mind, which is our emotional mind. And that battle happens whenever it is trying to convince you to go outside of your comfort zone. What happens when you're trying to make a decision that is taking you outside of what you normally do or where you're comfortable? You start to battle inside your head. You start to think about all the things, all the reasons why it won't work. Well, what's happening is your mind is trying to keep you where it's comfortable. But your mind is operating from your current core beliefs. And so that's not serving you because your current core beliefs are trying to keep you from going after your dreams. Do you think the magic happens inside your comfort zone? Absolutely not. The magic happens when you push past that. That's when your dreams start to unfold. That's when they start to take shape. We have perceptions about how we see things, how we view ourselves, how we view our relationships, the world around us. But oftentimes these perceptions are based in our old ways of thinking. And so we need to challenge that because the perceptions are not always based in what is real and what is factual. So fear, all of these fears that we have, Lorraine, you mentioned fear and doubt. That's what's keeping us there. Absolutely. So all of these fears and doubts that we have inside of ourselves, it's nothing more than a state of mind. And who has the ability to control your state of mind? Only you do. And you can control it. You have the ability to make a choice of whether you're going to allow yourself to remain in your current circumstances of fear and worry and doubt where you're comfortable. You have a choice. And so it is really uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable when we're trying to challenge that. It will feel uncomfortable because your mind is wanting you to stay where things are familiar. It doesn't want you to go into unknown, uncharted territory. That's what's scaring you, is the unknown. So we need to impress on our mind this new way of thinking. We need to do that through repetition. We need to consistently introduce our dreams, our goals every single day so that we can start to entertain it. We can start to acknowledge it. And the important thing is you may not know how you're going to get there. If you look at leaders in the world, did they know how they were going to get there? Did they know how they were going to develop their successful companies of billions and billions of dollars? No, they didn't know at first initially. They had an idea, they had a dream, and they made a decision to go after it. But they didn't know how it was going to happen initially. That came, but initially they didn't know how it was going to happen. And so the next time you need to act on a big idea or you need to make a decision, instead of trying to figure out the how, because what happens is we go into how it can't happen, right? We try to convince ourselves that this is not the way to go. So instead of worrying about the how, I want you to focus on these three things. I want you to recognize within yourself that all you've done is simply introduce a new idea, and it doesn't yet mix with the old idea that you have. That's all you're doing. You're introducing a new idea, and it's not quite mixing it with the old idea. Secondly, rather than letting that old idea, that old paradigm win and keep you stuck, keep you where it's familiar, you need to keep impressing on your mind that new idea. And you do that through gratitude, through faith, visualizations, affirmations. That's how you continue to impress it on your mind. Thirdly, you keep pushing into that unknown territory that you have fallen in love with, that your intuition is calling you to do. You keep pushing towards it. Because there's that saying, fear and growth, they go hand in hand. So you need to recognize that you will have some fears. But if you do all of these things, if you recognize within yourself that all you're doing is trying to change old ideas and old ways of thinking, if you build up your self-confidence, if you cultivate your faith, your belief, you will be able to push past and go into that unknown, uncharted territory. And what a beautiful thing that will be for you. What a beautiful thing when you can go after your dreams. And so if you're ready today in this moment to invest in yourself, listen to your gut, listen to your intuition. What is it calling you to do? If you're ready to invest in yourself and declare more, I want you to drop faith in the comments below. And if you need more information, or if you want to call, drop call in the comments below. I want to see each and every one of you making a decision to have faith. So don't forget that there will be a homework post again, posted in the units for today. Your homework is in your workbook. Faith Lorraine, Faith Jordana. Awesome. So powerful. And how do you feel? How do you feel when you've declared it? How do you feel when you declared it for yourself? That you are no longer going to allow your old negative ways of thinking to serve you. You're going to release that. How does that make you feel? Excited. I love that, Lorraine. I love it. So please do your homework, do the application. It only solidifies what we're learning here in this week. And this afternoon, don't forget, Jordana will be here at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. I'm really excited for that. You're welcome, Jeanette. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. Appreciate you, Sabrina.